All right. Hello. How's it going? That's right, I'm talking to you. Hey everyone. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with an edition of Monday analysis for you. The Premier League season is back underway. So guess what? Every single Monday I will be doing a little live chat video just like this one, basically running down my thoughts and opinions on the weekend's football and action in the Premier League. It was a jam-packed weekend for the Premier League. Some big results in there, some impressive performances, and I'm just going to go and talk about some of those that happened. Of course, mentioning Manchester United along the way, which is the predominant theme of this channel. Everybody who's tuning in right now, a couple of shout outs to K YouTube, who says Liverpool are going to win the league. Sickening comment there, K, but you might be right. Lalu Pato comments, hi Pig, hi to you Lalu. Liam Martin, hi Pig, hi to you Liam. Everybody else who's joining in right now, thanks so much for stopping by. So yeah, I mean, the season is underway. United, we had that Friday night fixture to kick off the new campaign, and thankfully to the lads that we actually managed to win that first game of the season and start the Premier League campaign off right. Now, it wasn't the most mesmerising of performances you've ever seen, has to be said. I mean, certainly first 25 minutes, half an hour, very lively. We zipped the ball around nicely. New signing Fred looked good in the centre of the park throughout. And it was a positive performance from us. But after that, some of the old tendencies crept in, some of the old slow, boring, sidey pass football that we saw last season and the previous few seasons. So, it's a mixed bag. But at the end of the day, it's the first game of the season. We had an absolutely terrible pre-season really going into it. We didn't have a successful transfer window unless you look at it from the point of view that Fred could go on to be excellent for us, which hopefully he does, in which case it wouldn't be such a bad window. But really, we didn't have the transfer window that we wanted. We didn't really go out there and address the issues that we had at the back, say, in the centre-back position or even left-back. But then guess what? Old Lukey baby popped up with an unbelievable goal that you probably would see from the likes of Bergkamp in his heyday. It was just an unbelievable touch and finish from him. And so happy for him to get that first senior club goal. But if he can, I'm not saying that he's expected to score goals because obviously he is a left back. But if he can consistently put in good performances and continue to grow and develop as a player and a Manchester United player, then maybe we just don't need a left back. We've still got Ashley Young. If Luke Shaw can come and be the man that he was before that injury, then heck, we could have a really quality player on our hands there. So I'm over the moon about that. I think we started it well. The fact is, it's going to be tough this season because, as I say, we didn't strengthen too much in the transfer window and other clubs around us certainly did strengthen. I want to talk about Liverpool. I've titled this video, City and Liverpool Too Strong, because, of course, the way that they started the campaign is sort of what you'd expect. I'm just going to read a couple more comments. I can see some super chats coming through here. A couple of more shout outs here. Gungshi in the house. How's it going, Gungshi? He said Liverpool win the league. I know, it sounds kind of ridiculous to say that. What's it been, like 30 years or something? Pigs will fly probably before Liverpool win the league. But I can honestly say that right now, this Liverpool side with Jurgen Klopp as their manager and not being afraid to invest money in the transfer window and already having a talented squad with the likes of Mane and all that jazz in there, who got himself a couple of goals that weekend, and adding the quality that they have to it, is probably their best chance, at least in terms of a prospect going into the start of the season, for a very long time that Liverpool could go on and win the league. So I agree in your sentiment of mocking Liverpool. I'm always up for doing that, Gungshi. But at the same time, they're a very real threat this year. They are. Last year, I don't think they were as much as a threat. They're great going forward. They could score goals, but they did concede a lot of goals and they lost to teams they really just shouldn't lose against, which obviously United did and City didn't do. City didn't do that. That's why they were so successful and won so many games and points and picked up so many points. But yeah, I think the Scousers have got a real shot for it this season, which is absolutely sickening to say, but I think it's true. Cantona7 in the house with a comment. How's it going, Cantona7? He says, I still think we will finish second down to the Mourinho factor, if he stays, that is. Good shout, Cantona7. This is the thing that I was saying in my previous video. We may not play the most attractive football. We may not score the most goals. It may not be thrilling and entertaining and edgy seat stuff like maybe Liverpool are. But it is effective. Jose knows how to win games. He knows how to grind out results, more importantly. And you've got to do that at this level. You can't just go gung-ho every single game because sometimes you're going to come up against lesser teams who you won't be able to break down so easily. They might nick a goal from a set piece and then suddenly your game plan's gone to shite. You need to be able to mix it up and vary it And I think Jose is the absolute master at doing that, about playing ugly, about grinding out games, picking up wins, and picking up points. And I personally totally agree with you, mate. I think that we will finish second this year, and I think Liverpool will finish third again. I do think that. And City will probably win the league because they're just so strong, and you can't see that much of a drop-off compared to how they were last season, this season. I just don't see them diminishing in that way too much. Alex Rincon with a super chat. Thank you very much for your super chat there. Alex, how you doing, mate? He says, I actually think United can beat both Liverpool and City. I wasn't that impressed. United could be a dark horse this year. I love that shit, Alex. I do. I love that comment there, mate, because I hope you're right. And I do think if Jose Mourinho wants to prove that he's one of the greatest coaches ever, which, to be fair, he's already done that. But this is a big challenge for him because he's in a league that is, you know, we haven't won it for a while. And also the teams that are around us challenging for those spots are prepared to spend big money in order to do that. You've got Pep over at City, one of the best managers in the world with unlimited funds, basically, and an incredible squad. You've got Pochettino, one of the best managers in the league, no doubt, over at Spurs with an incredibly talented squad. They didn't sign anybody in the window. They don't really need to. They're still going to be there or thereabouts for sort of fourth place, something like that, coming into the season, because they've got the quality in the squad, no doubt about it. And then, of course, Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp. But Manchester United have the ability to win games. We've got the right manager to grind out games, to maybe get the best out of the players that we've got on this side. Maybe we didn't need to go out there and sign loads of players because we've got the manager that's capable of getting the best out of the team. And the way I see it is he's got the ability to do that. Look at last season, Marouane Fellaini. A lot of people not happy about Marouane Fellaini sticking around at the club. Me personally, I think he's an absolute freaking newborn baby deer of a man, as I said about 100 times before. But he's so awkward, he doesn't have a great touch, but he is useful. And Jose got the very best out of him. Jose knows how to get the best out of players, he does. It's almost like when we had Alex Ferguson in charge of the side and we had players like Anderson and Nani and players like that who were like unbelievable. I remember when we had Nani at the club, it's like, holy crap, we've got this mini Cristiano. He's absolutely unreal. And he was. Nani was a fantastic player while he was at Manchester United because Alex Ferguson got the very, very best out of him. Fergie leaves, Nani moves on. What does he do? Nothing. And you could say that about so many different players that played under Alex Ferguson, and you can say the same for Jose Mourinho. Ashley Young, I think, he was basically out of sorts, out of favour before Jose Mourinho came in there. And what did he do? He had an incredible season last year. Jose's pretty much converted him, used him as this utility player, and he was able to get the very best out of him. Same with Phil Jones. We saw the Calamity Jones in the World Cup in the fourth place playoff, that he's got errors in him. But under Jose Mourinho, the performances, the levels of the performances rose quite considerably. And I just think he's got fantastic skills when it comes to man management, when it comes to motivating players, and also when it comes to getting players to play in the system that he knows is effective. And we might not be entertained by it, we might not love it, but the fact is, it is effective, and he gets the best out of these players. So I'm with you on that one, Alex. I think we can challenge. I don't see us actually dethroning City this year because I just think they're so strong. They added Mahrez to an already incredible squad. The way in which they play their football is so dominant. You know, the possession style of play, but always looking for goals. They're a very dominant attacking team. And with Pep Guardiola at the helm and the players that they got in their squad, it's hard to look beyond them for the championship. But, you know, stranger things have happened. If Jose can get the best out of the team, if we can do it consistently, if we can pick up the results, grind out the games, whether it be pretty, whether it be ugly, grind it out, then we could just be in for a shot at the title this year. It may be a bit optimistic, but City, I don't see them replicating the form that they showed last year. What did they actually do last year? Did they just lose to Liverpool twice and they lost to us once in the league? And that's it, I think. Is that it? They just lost 3 games? I don't know. I can't quite remember now, but it was an incredible run that they had to keep that level of performance up and get all those results week in, week out for another year. It's beyond them. It's pretty much beyond anybody. So I don't think they're going to replicate the amount of points that they got last season this season, which leaves it open for Manchester United, if we can do it consistently, to catch them up. Everybody who's tuning in right now, thank you for your super chat there, Alex Rincon, absolute legend. To everybody who's tuning in right now for this live stream, do us a favour, chuck us a like on this video, and if you happen to have stumbled across this video, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Let's just go into a few more comments, and then I'm going to talk about some of the other teams in a bit more depth and some of the football in action that's happened over the weekend. Obviously, this is Monday analysis. The whole point of this is to do a video every single week, giving you my thoughts and opinions live on the football that's been played at the weekend. So let's get into it. We've got a Liverpool fan. I'm just going to talk about Liverpool now, because we've got a Liverpool fan called Double D. Double D in the house, saying you'll never walk alone and we are top of the league. Yeah, okay, it's only one game, mate. Enjoy it. You know, you hammered the Hammers 4-0. Nice one. It was an unbelievable start for Liverpool, but we all expected them to win that game. They should have won that game. How much money have they invested in this transfer window? Couple of $100 million. They've signed incredible players. They already had a really good squad. Got a very, very passionate attacking manager. I can't help but quite like Jurgen Klopp. It sickens me to say that because he's Liverpool's manager, and I just shouldn't like Liverpool's manager, should I? No. I should hate Liverpool's manager, but he's sort of charming in this sort of German way, isn't he, Jurgen Klopp? So I think they've got a good manager over there, and you're top of the league now. The unbelievable performance at the weekend just goes to show that they are to be taken very, very seriously this year, because they can steamroll teams like that. I'm hoping that they've still got the vulnerabilities at the back, but after signing goalkeeper Alisson and adding Van Dijk and adding a bit more quality throughout the side in the window, then I think that's going to happen less and less for Liverpool, which is obviously great for you guys, not so great for us, but still, this is Liverpool Football Club we're talking about, a.k.a. the Merseyside Bottling Company, a.k.a. Slippy G's Band of Merry Men. So let's not get carried away here and say they're definitely going to win the league. There is a million reasons why Liverpool will not win the league, and only maybe one or two why they will. So let's not get carried away here and just hand the Premier League trophy to Liverpool just yet, because there's a long way to go. We know that they are capable of slipping up. We know Jurgen Klopp can be quite persistent in the way that he chooses to play his football, and quite, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know. But he can be quite, one-minded in the sense that he wants to go out there, he wants to beat every single team 4-0, he wants to batter every single team, and if a team is coming up against him who are not prepared to play into Liverpool's hands and get a lot of numbers behind the ball and hit them on the counter, etc., they don't always have a plan B. And we'll see this year if their defence has improved that much, and if Jurgen's got the ability to be able to play more of a tactically astute game when needed, and grind out results a la Jose Mourinho, which I don't think he really has. And in terms of winning things, okay, might have won something over in Germany once back in the day, but every single major final he's got to, he has indeed lost. I believe that anyway, certainly in the European competitions, and it's an incredible achievement to get there in the first place, of course it is. But he's also not necessarily a complete winner like a Jose Mourinho or a Pep Guardiola is, because he just hasn't won that much, even if they're there or thereabouts. Alex Rudd in with a little comment here saying, hey man, how's it going, Alex Rudd? How are you, mate? Thanks for stopping by. Just saw the notification. Glad you're getting the notification through. That reminds me, you can click the little bell button down there and then you'll be notified when I actually post a video or go live in the future. So please do that. Liam Martin, how's it going, Liam, with a comment? He says, because it's the first game and they say they're top of the league, it's the first game, Liverpool fans. Totally agree. We're right at the start of the season here. Anything can happen. It's an incredible start by them, as you would expect them to start that way anyway, against lesser opposition with the money they've spent and how good they were last year. So pipe down, Liverpool fans. It's not going to happen. You are going to walk alone. Prog for Prog comments, hey Piglet, Liverpool look good, but let's not forget they have Henderson Lovren. Exactly. Bunch of melters in the Liverpool side still. They've added some quality to it. I'm sure not all of that is going to turn out to be positive in terms of the signings, because some players just don't hit the ground running, some players turn into a flop. You cannot have a 100% success rate with signings, although I do think the signings they've made is actually very, very good, particularly Shaqiri. They got Zedran Shaqiri for about 13 million, something like that. He's a player that I would have taken at United in a heartbeat. Maybe, he's not used to playing in these big European games, against big teams and all that sort of thing. But he is a very classy technical player in a position that we could have done with strengthening. So I think that's an incredible signing for Liverpool. He will go on and show what a good bit of business he is for the club, because he's just a very skilled player, and it's not a lot of money, is it? They spent a lot of money on some other players. We saw 60-odd million pounds on a goalkeeper. Fabian, who else are they getting? But they've spent a lot of money this window, but Shaqiri is the cheapest of the lot, and in my opinion, could go on to be the best signing of the lot of them. We shall see. Double D, Mourinho's a fraud. You need Pochettino. How is Mourinho a fraud, though? I mean, you're talking about probably the most successful manager still managing in the game right now. Maybe Pep Guardiola, but certainly Jose Mourinho is right up there, isn't he? He's right up there. Look at his trophy haul. Look at the different leagues he's done it in. Treble in Serie A, double in Spain, double in England. Won the Champions League with Porto. There's nothing fraudulent about Jose Mourinho, is there? Look at his record. Look at what he's won. He's a natural-born winner. He will win trophies, whatever club he goes and chooses and manages at in whatever league. He's got that ability. Tactically, motivation-wise, he's one of the best managers in the world. So calm down. You know, this is, of course, a Manchester United channel. Maybe I shouldn't be reading out your comments if you're a Liverpool fan hating on Mourinho, but just wanted to highlight it and say, you are wrong, pal. But thank you very much for your comment anyway. Alex Ringon, if we can play like we did against City when we beat them 3-2, we can beat all the big teams, no problem. Yeah, I agree. And the funny thing about that game was I think we went 2-0 down, didn't we? And we went 2-0 down with quite a negative mentality from the start, as you would maybe expect with the Jose Mourinho team coming up against opposition like Manchester City. And it's frustrating to see that, but then the reaction we got from that, the second half performance from Manchester United was absolutely incredible. You know, Pogba on song, playing unbelievably well, just what we needed. 3 goals scored in quick succession, and we beat them. You're absolutely right. We need to play with that sort of intensity from the off a lot more, because we shouldn't be going down in games. We shouldn't be down and out in games before we flick over to the right, let's play like Manchester United tactics. It shouldn't be that. We should be playing like Manchester United against most teams. Okay, I agree with Mourinho. If you're coming up against City and maybe they've got a little bit more quality than us in certain positions, you don't want to play into City's strengths and just try and get right at them and leave holes at the back and leave spaces, because City, the way that they play, the possession style football, the incredible talents that they've got, they can hurt you very, very, very quickly. And Jose Mourinho's aware of that. He knows that he did it time and time again over in Spain when he was facing up against Pep Guardiola again for Real Madrid against Barcelona. Barcelona, the way in which they go about their football, similar sort of thing. It was back then anyway, you know, that tiki-taka style. And if you play into Barcelona's hands and leave yourself vulnerable at the back, when they get the ball back, they're going to shift it very, very quickly, very, very skillfully, and they will absolutely hurt you. What Jose managed to do a lot of the time, I think maybe less often than actually doing it, but he was able to get the better of Barcelona by playing in a relatively negative style of play, a counter-attacking system. You've got unbelievable talents in there, of course, and you might think, why are we shackling a team with Ronaldo up top and all that stuff? But it's effective. It's all about picking up points, getting the win, keeping it tight at the back, allowing the top players you've got on the top of the pitch to do the business and put the ball in the back of the net and nick games against maybe teams who actually are slightly better than you. That's what Jose is amazing at. So, Gungshi with a super chat of 500 Taiwanese dollars. You insane man. Thank you so much, Gungshi. Really means a lot to me. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you so much. His comment with it, he says, if Liverpool win it, at least they will have earned it. Unlike Shitty and Chelsea. It's a long season. Anything can happen. You make a really good point there, man. Because obviously Chelsea, when they won it, they were basically a nowhere team, basically a cup team, might finish 3rd or 4th in the league, but they were nowhere really before Roman Abramovich came in with his billions, bought everybody, they got Josie and one of the best managers, and they had a lot of success, and they're still seeing the benefits of all that money. City is the same thing. I mean, come on, City fans. I hope there's some City fans watching this now so I can say to you, your club is a joke. It is a small club with an absolutely insanely rich man in charge, who basically, he's like a sugar daddy, isn't he, on Football Manager. He just doesn't care. It's like you've put cheat code on Football Manager. You can just go out there, sign anybody you want, get the best manager in the world, pay him 30 million a year, whatever he's paying him. And it's sort of spoiled football in a way, because you cannot deny that Manchester United, all the money we've spent over the years, okay, but we've earned that money. We've earned that money from commercial success, and we earn that money from success out on the pitch, success in the league, success across Europe. And we've earned it. We've got a lot of the prize money, the commercial money coming in there, because we have built that club. We built the brand, absolutely everything. Sir Alex Ferguson increased the stadium. There's so much effort that's gone into making Manchester United the Goliath that they are. You cannot even compare it to City and Chelsea. City and Chelsea, Don't make me laugh. You might as well just give £1 billion to Kettering Town, and that is Manchester City right now. So, yeah, I totally agree with you, Gungshi. Liverpool, if they do win the league, at least they will have earned it. And maybe they spent a fair bit of money this transfer window. Good for them, because historically, over the last sort of 10 years, they haven't really spent the same sort of money as at least the top couple of sides have in the Premier League, you know, like Chelsea and even us, and of course Manchester City. They haven't quite competed until this transfer window, really. So if they do actually go on to win the league, then they would have deserved it, and it would have been a long time coming for them as well. And for one of the most successful teams in the country, the second most successful team in the country, behind Manchester United, it's been such an incredibly long time that they have gone without winning anything. So, yeah, begrudgingly, if they went on to win it and they did it in style and they did it with lovely attacking football and they just run away with the league, you can't begrudge them that, apart from the fact that they're scouse and it would leave it a sickening taste in the mouth. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for your super chat there, Gunshi. Really appreciate that, mate. Absolute legend. Right, I'm just going to actually talk about some of the comments, some of the topics, rather, that I just wanted to cover quickly, and then I'll get back to reading some of your guys' comments. Everybody who is tuned in, thanks so much for getting involved with the comments, and, you know, keep them coming in. I'll go back to it in a few minutes, and we'll read some more out. Don't get disillusioned if I've not read out your little comment there, mate, okay? Right, so yeah, Liverpool started the Premier League unbelievably well with that 4-0 win, and they looked incredible. City, let's talk about City, because City obviously started their campaign with a 2-0 win over Arsenal. Great result for them, probably to be expected. Unai Emery, new manager at Arsenal. Huge transitional period for them. Massive amount of change going on over there at Arsenal. And it remains to be seen what sort of a season it's going to be for them. We've all seen maybe the videos afterwards of Arsenal Fan TV all giving it the, what's going on, fam, blood, and all that business. But it's a little bit too soon. You're coming up against the champions, who have got a much better side, who've got a settled side, who've got a settled manager, all that sort of thing. They know what they're doing, they know their position, they know their place, they know the style of play that they want to go about, and they do it incredibly well. So Arsenal fans just make me laugh that they're already sort of like, oh, it's like Wenger picked a team and all this stuff. Calm down, all right, guys, okay? I don't even care, but it sort of annoys me because it's against Manchester City. It's one game. It's their first game of the season. Calm your boots, okay? Just chill your boots, bruv. Blood. Chill your boots, because there's a long way to go. You've got to give the new guy a chance, and we can expect that it's going to be a difficult season for Arsenal. And the reason I say that is because it's always difficult when you have somebody like Arsene Wenger, who was just a stalwart at the club for 20 years, whatever it was. Unbelievable amount of time that he was manager of a football club in this modern era. It's almost unheard of, really. You know, probably won't be heard of again, quite frankly, with the chop and change mentality that chairmen have. As soon as it's not going quite well, just look at Roman at Chelsea. You know, they just get rid and they get somebody else in with a new approach, hoping that that can fix it. Manchester United, Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger at Arsenal, those days are well and truly over. But what that means for Arsenal is it just means that they're going through a period of transition, a period of perhaps turmoil where it may get worse before it gets better. All the Arsenal fans crying out for Arsene Wenger's head last season while he left at the end of the season, I think they're a bunch of mugs, I'm going to be honest with you, because Arsene Wenger is one, say what you want about him, right? I'm just going to say this right now. He's one of the best Premier League managers of all time. That the way in which Arsenal played the football under them, they might have not won all the games and been consistent and won a lot in the last decade, but the way in which they played their football was always entertaining, it was always attacking, it was always silky football that they played, and he won quite a lot of stuff for them at the start, and you know, right up until about maybe the middle of his tenure at Arsenal. And the latter part of that tenure at Arsenal, the fact that they didn't win a lot of trophies and stuff, I don't think that's his fault. I think it's the board's fault. They never really backed him, they never really let him compete in the transfer market with the likes of Manchester United, with the likes of Chelsea. Just never happened for them. Yes, they would go here and spend a bit of money, but then they'd also lose Robin van Persie to their bitter rivals for £20 million and stuff like that. You know, or Alexis Sanchez or anybody. They always just became even though they're a big club, they became a selling club. They were not able to keep hold of their players. They weren't firm enough in keeping hold of their best talents, and they weren't prepared to go out there in the transfer window and match the other big teams in the league that are prepared to try and pay for success, because that's what the likes of City and Chelsea have done, and even United to a degree. We've not been shy of spending money this last decade, have we? So I personally think that they've had a mare there. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm actually really worried right now, because Unai Emery, it's okay, but it's not like you're guaranteed something. It's not like they've got Pep Guardiola or somebody who's guaranteed to come in there and getting them playing a certain style and improving them instantly. It's not guaranteed at all. They could finish 10th this season. They really could. I know they have brought some decent players in. Liechtenstein are 35 years of age, and they've made a couple of signings that are decent, but it doesn't blow me away. And I think they are really going to struggle this year. Now, struggle to the point where they finish outside the top 6? Maybe not. But I do think if they can finish higher than 6th this season, Arsenal fans won't like this, Rod won't like this, but if they can finish higher than 6th, then that would be an incredible season for them, considering. And I know that's not what Arsenal fans want to hear, because the whole purpose of getting rid of Wenger is to try and bring that success back to the club. But this is a totally different battlefield these days that these lads are fighting on. You're coming up against City. City a few years ago, they were nowhere, were they? Before all this money came in, they were nowhere. Manchester United is still doing it as well. We're still competing. We've still got a very good squad. We're still prepared to spend a bit of money. Not this transfer window, but historically, last few years we are. We've got Mourinho, one of the best managers in the world, absolute master tactician. Then you've got Liverpool, Klopp, unbelievable attacking football. They're spending money. They've got a great squad. Tottenham. There's too many teams to compete with. I've not even mentioned Chelsea here, have I? But there's too many teams to compete with for Arsenal this year. They just don't have the squad capable of matching those teams, and they probably won't do without a lot more further investment. And who's to say that they've even got the manager to be able to grind out results and do a good enough job to get them top 4? Arsene Wenger, apart from last season, consistently got them top 4 whilst spending nowhere near as much money as the 3 teams above them. And to say that that is not an achievement is just stupid, because he's basically squeezing all the juice out of this dodgy old lemon that he can get and making lemonade out of it. That is what he was doing. So yeah, I personally think that it's going to be a torrid time for Arsenal this season, but I for one cannot wait for it. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be an incredible roller coaster of misery for the Gooners, and I look forward to every single moment of it. I do. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me on the arse and Arsenal finish above Manchester United this season. It's not going to happen, is it? No. I can rest assured that comment is not going to come back and bite me on the arse, because I just think Arsenal have got such an uphill struggle this season. Give it a year. Give it maybe 6 months, and we'll see perhaps what Arsenal can do potentially with this new guy at the helm and this new system and a couple of new signings in maybe January transfer window. We can see what they will do, but this year for me I think it's going to be a big struggle for them. Right, let's get on to the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is Chelsea's manager chewing cigarettes on the byline. What the hell is that all about? So he apparently smokes 80 ciggies a day. Now, that seems a little bit excessive, doesn't it, Mauricio? Seems a little bit excessive, mate. You can maybe cut that down to 70. I don't know, but apparently he smokes 80 cigs a day. Don't know how he's still alive, but he is. And he's on the sideline with a cigarette in his mouth, sort of sucking it, chewing it, filter end hanging out of his mouth, and he's sort of sucking on the cigarette. Now, to me, that seems a little bit odd. Have you never heard of Nicorette gum? Have you never heard of patches? Why the hell are you out there chewing on an actual Marlboro, mate? It's kind of incredible. I don't really want to talk too much about it. It's not a lot to talk about, is there? But I thought that was very strange indeed, very weird. That guy is such a smoker. He cannot go 2 hours without tasting tobacco in his mouth. He can't smoke at the sideline because it's been banned in all stadiums. In 2007, I think it was, they banned it all throughout England in the stadiums, not allowed to smoke on the sidelines, that sort of thing, or even in the crowd. I believe obviously a lot of people still do, but you're not allowed to. So his option is he's got to just chew actual cigarettes at the side. Not chewing tobacco here. I'm not talking about chewing tobacco. No, that would be considered more normal. We're talking about actually chewing on and eating an actual cigarette. So I just thought that was mad anyway. Let me get on to Wayne Rooney, ex-Manchester United player. Just a couple of things I'm going to highlight before going back into the Premier League results and stuff. But Wayne Rooney, I don't know if you saw this, but playing for DC United at the weekend, he performed an unbelievable bit of skill, really. And I wanted to talk about it just to highlight it. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out, because you can still see in the MLS he's going to be a force. He's such a good player. He's a good all-round player. Basically, it's 2-2 DC United versus Orlando. And Orlando hit them on the break. So DC are pushing up, trying to get the goal. Orlando hit them on the break. And it's Wayne Rooney who is left with a last-ditch dash to try and take it off the attacker. And guess what he does with an unbelievable Paolo Maldini-esque challenge? Not only that, he gets the ball back in his own half. He gets his head up, he takes it forward, and he pings in a David Beckham-esque deep cross from right near the halfway line, really, into the penalty area. And one of his teammates nods it in for the winning goal in the last minute of the game to take the game 3-2. I mean, that is absolutely legendary stuff. You've got to watch it. It was a brilliant little series of, or a sequence of events that happened. So check that out. Shout out to Wayne Rooney. A lot of people criticise Wayne Rooney. I have before. Maybe didn't live up to the hype. But let's be honest now, he's England's all-time goal scorer. He's Manchester United's all-time goal scorer. How bad can he actually be with those stats? How bad? He's quality, isn't he? I would take Wayne Rooney in his prime. 10 years ago, take Wayne Rooney in his prime every day of the week. Pretty much over anybody we've got in the squad right now. Why? You've got to. He was that good and that effective. And it was only the last couple of seasons at United where he really went off the boil. And that is in a series of transition, a series of turmoil. Not necessarily his fault, is it? Louis van Gaal's your manager, for Pete's sake. What do you expect's going to happen? David Moyes, I mean, come on. So I personally think Wayne Rooney is an absolute legend of Manchester United. I just wanted to highlight that in case you haven't seen it. Go check it out. It's an incredible bit of skill. Right, let's just read some more of your guys' comments. Thanks so much to everybody who's got these coming in. I really do appreciate you interacting with these videos. Bunch of legends. Chuck a like on it. I'll say it again if you're not here. We've got 50 viewers, only 12 likes. What's that all about? Get that like on there, lads. Shout out to Ali Rashidi. He says, hi, Pig. Hi, Ali. How's it going? Joey Magoo comments, Man U will probably overcome Liverpool once again. I like that. Yeah, I mean, we probably will. This is the thing. Liverpool have had a lot of hype about them ever since Kloppy came in. They had a lot of hype about them. They had Brendan Rodgers in. Kenny Dalglish, but the same things seem to happen. They always seem to fall short. They always seem to disappoint the scouts following. Whether it be Stevie G slipping or, Brendan Rodgers bottling it. They just slip up, don't they? And they've got that in them. It's almost built into their DNA now. It's sort of like England with all this 60 years of hurt we've had in the World Cup and that sort of thing. It's almost like that with Liverpool. They've gone such an incredible time without winning anything in the Premier League, or the Premier League title at least, that it's almost silly now. And it's almost like they've got to get that monkey off their back. And the longer it goes on, the harder it's going to be for them to get that monkey off their back. Because it's such an amount of time. And for a club that used to be the most successful English club, it must be pretty sickening for them. And they're going to have to really turn everything around at that club, which they do seem to be doing. But I fully expect Manchester United to finish above Liverpool this season, because I just think we've got a manager with more of a winning mentality, who knows how to grind out results. And although Klopp's an incredible manager and has got them to finals and done incredible stuff with them and the style in which they play, they also do leak goals, and they also are vulnerable, and they can be got at, no doubt about that. We'll see if the signings that they made this summer has plugged those problems and made a difference, but my personal opinion is it won't be enough. It won't be enough to get them to challenge really for the title, and it won't be enough to stop Manchester United with Jose in charge, with the squad we have, to be able for them to finish above us. I still see Manchester United finishing second this season behind an incredible City side. So, yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Thanks very much for your comment there. YouTube, West Ham invested money too. They are absolute shit. Yeah, but let's be honest now. I mean, you can't polish a turd, can you? Can you really polish a turd? I suppose you can, but it's still going to look very turdy at the end of the day. And West Ham, they had so much backlash from their fans. They had a really bad season, really, because of that whole Olympic Stadium business. They're still struggling with that, because they used to have Upton Park. It was such a cauldron of football. The fans were right there. Now, it's just not the same, is it? That is almost a disadvantage to them, just straight from the off. So that's something they've got to contend with. But also, they spent a lot of money, but really, it's difficult to get all these players to come in there and gel straight away and expect them to just go out there and beat, Liverpool, who were incredible last year and already have a much better squad than them. Let's be honest now. You said West Ham invested money too, and they're absolute shit. Are you basing this on the one game against Liverpool? Because Liverpool invested more money and they had a much better squad before. So it's a little bit harsh to say that they are shit. I mean, they were shit in that game, absolutely. And I expect them to maybe struggle for the start of this season, but I actually think they will finish top 10 this year based on the signings that they made. They made some good signings. And it's just there's a little bit of positivity about West Ham at the moment, because previous seasons, David Gold and Sullivan in charge, they were not prepared to really spend any money and invest in the team. The fans got really on their case last year, didn't they? There was protests and all sorts. I think one of them was got battered. And of course, what they've done now, if they have actually put their hands in their pocket and invested a reasonable amount of money in the side, it takes time though. You can't just go out there and buy a whole bunch of players like Fulham have as well. You know, Fulham didn't start the season great either with their loss at the weekend, but they did make some really incredible signings, loan moves and transfers in the transfer window, which goes to show you their intent anyway. And intent is half of it really. You have to have the the ambition to really achieve something in this game. And West Ham at least has showed a bit of ambition here, this transfer window, and I think they actually will do pretty well this year. Oh, bloody hell. Freaking Mrs. calling me again. Why does she always call me when I'm doing these live streams? Seriously? Prog comments, I like Klopp, he needs silverware or it's all for now. Totally agree, he's got to start winning stuff. If he doesn't win it, what is it all for? Like you say, nout, mate. He's got to start winning stuff. All this investment, the lovely style of play that they play, blah, 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 all means nothing if we haven't got a trophy at the end of it. Look at Jose Mourinho's first season in charge of Manchester United. He won us the treble. It wasn't a great treble, but it is a treble. That's a lot of trophies to win in your first season in a transitional period. That's a born winner, lads and lasses. That is a born winner. Joey comments, Klopp's style is burn fast, burn brightly. Once he leaves Liverpool, we as a nation would have lost something special. Yeah, I can't deny that, mate. You know, he is quite an unbelievable manager in the sense that he's gone in there and pretty much immediately lifted the club, got them playing this lovely attacking style of play, and he does burn very brightly indeed over there in terms of both personality and in terms of what he's doing at the club. It's a marked improvement from where they were a few years ago on the Rodgers and before that. But it's also not a marked improvement in terms of actual league positions and in terms of trophies and things like that, which is what it all is really about, really. So, yeah, I fully agree with you there, mate. One thing I did want to talk about, actually, was old Twatty McGee over at Newcastle United. Mike Ashley, the owner of Sports Direct and Newcastle United stuff, he bought House of Fraser the other day, which is like, if you're not from England, it's like a high street brand. He wants to make it the Harrods of the high street. And good luck with that. Good luck with that, Mike. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that because he's bought House of Fraser, but, you know, why don't they invest a bit more in their side, eh? That's what it seems like. £90 million on House of Fraser. It's probably going to change it to House of Frey Bentos because it certainly looks like he ate all the pies. That's a brand of pie over in the UK, just in case you don't know. Quite nice, actually. They come in tins. I recommend them for 99p. But anyway, no, it's a bit harsh, isn't it? I'm a bit chunky myself, or very chunky. So, you know, but I just don't like him. He seems like a douchebag, Mike Ashley, doesn't he? He is your definitive, horrible fat cat in an ivory tower, isn't he? He just seems like pure scum. So I just wanted to mention that anyway. The Truth comments, love you to the Truth. And let's face it, the truth only speaks the truth. So I really do appreciate that. Gungshi, we are better at adapting to different styles of play. I just wish Jose's style was a bit more aggressive and fast-paced. Yeah, don't we all, man? He is. That's the thing. He can play in so many different ways. It's not like we were a Liverpool. We've just got one tactic. No, he's got plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E. And they might all not work, but he will tinker with them around until one does, until, you know, we are effective in games, until we come up against opposition who are very, very strong and we nullify them. We saw that last year, that City game. We saw it against Liverpool. You know, he's got the ability to kill teams off. He's got the ability to stop teams from playing the football that they play. Liverpool's a great example. One of the games we played against Liverpool last year, because they were tearing everybody apart. They were attacking teams, destroying teams, come up against us, and they were very ineffective, really. We defended them off the park. We hit them on the counter-attack. We hurt them. And that's what Jose Mourinho's sides can do. He's very, very astute when it comes to choosing the correct style of play in order to defeat the opposition that's in front of them. And you have to have a manager like that. Fergie used to do that too. He did. Maybe not quite to the extent. He wasn't really happy playing defensive, counter-attacking football when you're playing teams like West Brom, whereas Jose Mourinho is quite happy to do that. He always wanted us to push, press late on in games, all the way right to the end of the game. If we were winning 3-0, Sir Alex would want us to win 4-0 come the end of the game. That is just the mentality of the man. Jose's a bit different. He's more of get that one goal, tighten it up. Get that one goal, tighten it up, get 2 goals, get that 2-goal cushion, and kill the game off. That is basically Jose Mourinho. So, yeah, I think he's much better at adapting than the likes of Jurgen Klopp. Pep Guardiola is another manager that does have more ability when it comes to mixing it up and defending when needed. But then they're so talented and they're so good at keeping hold of the ball and passing it around and attacking that they don't have to do that as much as us because they've just got an incredible, really deep squad. Rincon comments Dutch Chris Smalling and the Croatian Phil Jones at centre-back. Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if we had assigned somebody a little bit more exciting in terms of the positions at the back there this window. We all wanted to see maybe a Maguire or an Alderweireld or somebody come in there. Wasn't to be. We've got to work with what we've got now. Put that transfer window behind us. We have to. Forget about it now. Lindelof and Bailey may just be the partnership. I'm not so convinced about Lindelof. I am with Bailey. I think he's an incredible talent. Lindelof did some really good stuff in the last game against Leicester, but I'm not so sure that he can do it at the very highest level and on a consistent basis. But can he really be any worse than Jones in terms of consistency or Smalling in terms of consistency? Now, don't get me wrong, I actually really rate Phil Jones. Phil Jones had a really good season for us last year. Really good. Josie got a lot out of him last year, and he can do a very good job for us. But it's not Rio and Vidic, is it? I've said it time and time again. We haven't had a centre-back pairing like Rio and Vidic since we had Rio and Vidic. And the thing is, you need a centre-back pairing like a Rio and Vidic in order to win the big games, in order to win all the trophies, in order to really build from the back and be very, very solid defensively. Because it almost becomes like a thing where Vidic and Rio are working in tandem together. They know where each other's going to be. They're helping out each other. They're on the same wavelength. And that comes with consistency. It comes with playing together all the time. And we don't have that at United. Last year, it's like we've got this mishmash of players week in, week out. Jose, okay, squad rotation is a big part of the game, and it has to be now because of the amount of fixtures that are played. But he was chopping and changing things all the time at United last season, and it was quite hard to get that consistency and just get that credibility in there. You know, the ability for the players to just know each other, know how they're going to play, have that cemented, solid starting lineup, the team that we know we can go to, the go-to team. We don't have that. And even this season, unless he's just basically said to Jones and Smalling, look, you're playing in the cup games, you're playing in, as subs, most of the time go with Lindelof and Bailey. Unless he's done that, I think it's going to be the same sort of thing this year. We need consistency in the back there. All good teams are built on that, and that's what we need to do, 100%. Alex Rudd with a super chat. Thank you very much, Alex, mate. Really appreciate it. His comment is, I think Liverpool under Klopp won't win. Love it. Yeah, I mean, although he is an incredible manager and he is such a big personality and he has improved Liverpool, certainly the style of play, it's really attractive, isn't it? But what you've got to ask yourself is it effective in terms of winning things? And so far, from what we've seen from his career, he might have won the odd thing, but from what we've seen over his career is no, it is not. It doesn't go hand in hand with winning trophies. It goes hand in hand with scoring lots of goals and entertaining the fans and upsetting big teams on occasion. It really does, because they are so good going forward. But in terms of actually picking up the win and winning trophies, they probably won't win anything because he's not historically got that winning mentality. He's not historically a winning manager. Whereas our manager, call him boring, call him a Portuguese Mr. Bean, whatever you want to call him, he does win things. And he has actually won things with Manchester United already. Last season wasn't great, right? But we still have won things, and he's still building this team, and we are still in with a shout of challenging for absolutely every competition, because we do have a good squad. It might not be as good as City, it might not be as good as Real Madrid or Barca or these teams, but it's still a really capable squad in the Premier League to be able to challenge for the title. It's just going to be very difficult to dethrone Manchester City, because they are just that head and shoulders above everyone else, or at least they were last year. I hope that they bottom it this year and just don't manage to replicate that form that they showed last year. But chances are even if they replicate it to about 80 or 90% of the capacity of what they did last year, it's still probably good enough to win the league. Thank you very much for your comment and super chat there, Alex Rudd. Really appreciate it, mate. We got a comment from Lalu. You guys probably think Bailey is better than Virgil van Dijk. I'm not surprised, really, given you a lot of delusional. Oh, it's a bit of a scathing comment there, isn't it, Lalu? I don't think there's much in it. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, you might think that's funny because obviously Bailey was reasonably unknown before we signed him, and you bought Virgil van Dijk after an incredible season at Southampton and for a shitload of money, and he's gone on to be a really good player for Liverpool at the back there. But I wasn't really blown away by that signing. I thought they spent a lot of money on him. Yes, he's a really good defender, but in my opinion, he's not one of the best defenders in the world. I don't think so. That's just my opinion, though. I know so many people disagree with me. Most of them scouse, but a lot of them disagree with me, and I can understand why. He is effective. He is a good player. But if you're talking to me about Virgil van Dijk and Eric Bailly, I don't see a lot between them. They're slightly different players. I don't see a lot of difference in it, to be honest with you. Bailey, to me, as a United fan who watches United week in, week out, I can just see from his positioning, from the ability he has to block and challenge and tackle and all the stuff that you want a defender to do, and heading clearances and all that sort of thing. I can see how effective he is and how good he is technically. He's a very, very good player. You may not agree because obviously last year we're in a sort of boring Manchester United system and we have maybe not achieved all that we should have achieved. And you can easily blame the back line for that. But I don't think we can really blame Bailly. He's not really put a foot wrong while he's been a Manchester United player. He came in from the La Liga and he slotted straight in there and instantly made Man United's team look better. So I know a lot of people disagree with that on that and think that Virgil van Dijk is twice the player as Bailly. But for me, I don't think so. I just think we need to get a top quality player to partner Bailly. And then you will see just how good a player he is. Because he cannot do it all on his own. He just can't. Huge load of Seaman comments. Nice name you've got there, mate. With Jose, it's about winning every game. And that is it. That's that's the theme of this video, really, is Jose's winning mentality. He does not care if it's the ugliest performance you've ever seen from a Manchester United side. He doesn't care as long as he believes it's the most effective way that we can play to pick up the win against the opposition that we're coming up against. And you've got to do that. You've got to play suitably for whoever you're playing against. You can't just come up against Barcelona and try and out Barcelona. It doesn't work. You're going to have to keep numbers behind the ball. You're going to have less possession. You're going to have to hit them on the counter and use your pace up front and hope to get in behind the defence and hurt them that way and then tighten things up and just grind out the result. And Jose, like you say, Jose is the king at that. Brotherhood Gaming, why are you moaning about United? We all know you support Chelsea. Mr. Flying Pig, a.k.a. Mr. Flip-Flop fan. Pfft, what are you talking about, mate? I've been doing this YouTube channel for 6 years. I was born into a Manchester United family, and I am a Manchester United fan. Get your facts right, you bell. You must be one of these City fans / Chelsea fans / Liverpool fans that just hop and flop between each one because that's how you think. You sicken me. Anyway, no, thank you for your comment. I enjoy all these comments, all the criticism, negativity. I don't care if people call me a fat twat, to be honest with you. It's water off a duck's back, and I just appreciate that you're actually on here watching this beautiful mug and listening to my beautiful tones. That's all I care about, and I appreciate your negative comment there, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. Chuck a like on it. Oh dear. Kay comments, Van Dijk played for Southampton. He was so exposed. Bailey played for 2 Park the Bus teams, you twat. Yeah, he's just dissing that guy as well. Anyway, I think I'm pretty much going to come to an end of this video now because I covered most of the points I wanted to talk about. Just wanted to give you an analysis of the football that's happened at the weekend, how I feel about this season's prospects with Manchester United now. I think we're going to finish second this year. I think it's going to be very difficult to dethrone City. They're just too strong. They added a bit more quality, and they already had the most quality in the side. They've already got the best manager in the world, along with Jose, you'd have to say. Totally different styles of manager. But in terms of effectiveness, you could say the best manager in the world. And they're going to be a tough team to topple, aren't they? They are. I don't expect us to do that, but I do expect us to have a go. I do expect us to challenge, and I do expect us to close the gap a little bit with Manchester City, even though we haven't strengthened that much of the transfer window. It's another year for Jose. It's his 3rd season in charge. It is make or break time now for Jose. There's a lot of pressure on him this season. He's going to have to get the best out of the squad that we've got. He wasn't able to attract the big players in, or Woodward and Gang weren't able to get the players through the door. And And it's all about how Jose can motivate the team, manage the team, get the best out of the players that we have. We've seen him do that over the years. We saw him do it last year with Fellaini and Young and Jones, 3 players right there, just for an example, who looked instantly better once Jose Mourinho was at the helm. So I think he can do it. I think he can get us challenging, but obviously only time will tell on that one. To everybody who's commented on this video, thanks so much for getting involved. Another super chat here I'm going to read from Alex Rudd before I go. Thank you so much, mate. He says, Arsenal need to get rid of Deadwood from Wenger era. Yeah, that's the problem. As an Arsenal fan, I'm sure that's how you feel. I mean, there's certainly some players in there that Emery won't want. He's already moved a few on, like Wilshere and players like that. And he's going to have to do that. It's a period of transition. You will see at the end of this season, or even in the January transfer window, some more movements, some more goings out in terms of transfers from Arsenal. You will, because he's going to have to make a bit of room. He's going to have to bring players in that he wants to play in a certain philosophy and mentality and who he actually wants, until it's actually his team after a year or two. You know, this Jose Mourinho side of Man United, it's pretty much his team now. But I even think last year it was more of a hangover from the Moyes and the Louis van Gaal days. So now it's his team, but with Emery at Arsenal, it's going to take time for it to become his team. He's going to have to get rid of some of the Deadwood. There's a lot of players there that I think he should keep, though. I mean, there was talk about Aaron Ramsey going. To me, Aaron Ramsey's a really good player, really complete midfielder. I rate him, great goal-scoring midfielder. And he should definitely not get rid of him, you know. He shouldn't. There's certain players at Arsenal that they should 100% keep. It's not like he should just completely get rid of all the players that played under Arsene Wenger, because that's just silly. Some of them are really good players, but it's all about him adding to those good players and getting rid of the players that he doesn't necessarily think are going to fit his style and benefit the team. So yeah, fully agree with you there, mate. Sorry, a bit of gas. Thank you so much for your comment. Oh, crikey, there's a shitloads of comments on here today. I mean, I am right at the top here. I'm right at the top here. I've got to scroll all the way down. Now I've got to the end. Just going to give a shout out to everybody who's watching this video right now. Thank you so much for getting involved. Jayanat Corey. Let me give a shout out to Ron Say. Gungshi, of course, with an epic super chat earlier. Both the Alexes, Rincon and Rudd, you're a bunch of legends. All you guys, you continue to support the channel, not only in terms of watching and interacting, but actually you're making financial contributions to the channel. So that to me is crazy. Thank you so much for doing that. One thing I would say is obviously YouTube I don't know what percentage they take of these super chats, but they do. So what you can do if you really want to support the channel is you can actually check out my link in the description and go and become a patron of my channel on Patreon, and that way you can just give me some money every single month in order to make more of these videos if you so wish to do that. That's not the reason I do this, but obviously everybody else has a Patreon page. I might as well have one too. If you want to support this channel with an actual financial contribution, then you can do that by clicking the link in the description below and becoming a patron. Not only that, I've not really done anything on there yet because I've only got 1 or 2 actual patrons so far, so I haven't got it out there too much, but once I do get a few more people on there, I'm going to start doing some stuff that's exclusive to Patreon, and what that means is I am going to actually bring back Q&A Sunday. That's right, you heard it here first. Haven't done it for a long time. We're going to bring back Q&A Sunday, and I'm going to obviously prioritise questions and stuff from patrons on there who can leave a question for Q&A Sunday. Not only that, I'll do certain live streams, and what I'm going to do in the future as well is when I've got a few patrons on there, what I will do is as an exclusive sort of breakdown of my thoughts on the live team news. Because there's other channels out there that do live team news as it comes in an hour before kickoff for every game. I don't do that personally, but I will do that, just a quick 5-minute video on Patreon, just to give you guys who do actually want to support the channel a little bit of extra content over there that's exclusive to that platform. So you've actually got a reason to do it as well. But anyway, obviously, like I say, it's not the reason I do these videos. I just love making videos, talking about Manchester United football, my passions in life, and obviously interacting with all you guys. A lot of you are like-minded. There's obviously a few trolls around the place, a few scummers. It's water off a duck's back. Say what you want, lads, honestly. It all helps out the channel, whether you've been a negative Nelly or a positive Pete. It doesn't actually make a difference to me. So there you go. Thanks so much for getting involved to everybody. Everybody, if I've not mentioned your comment today, I'm sorry. I tried to. There's a lot coming in here. Really appreciate it. Superlin Casper, you are the best football YouTuber. Holy shit balls. That's really nice. Nice of you to say. It's not true, but I appreciate it anyway. Thank you so much. Everybody who's tuned in right now, thanks so much for stopping by. I cannot believe this video is 55 minutes long. 55 minutes long. This is why I've got to go now, because I was supposed to do like a 15-minute video, and I've just chatted absolute cod for an hour. So yeah, but I hope you've enjoyed listening along to this, and even if you've not enjoyed it, if you're still here, thanks for sticking along. Thanks for, you know, slogging along with me, and I appreciate it. Keep a lookout every single Monday for a new episode of Monday Analysis. I'll be doing one of these every single Monday, just breaking down what's happened at the in the Premier League at the weekend. So that's what I'm going to do. Every single Monday there'll be a new episode of this. I can't guarantee what time, but hopefully around this sort of time, or lunchtime, I will try and get a Monday Analysis video out. And if it's not at lunchtime, it'll be later on the day. Every single Monday I'm going to commit to now and do a Monday Analysis video, just giving you my thoughts and opinions on what happened at the weekend. Ron Say comments, the hen is playing with his balls in China. I think you might be right there, mate. I mean, I haven't heard too much from him again since for the last week. He's got a lot to sort out over there. Of course, he's like teaching English over there. He's got his family settled, gets family in school and all this sort of stuff. So it's a lot of stuff to sort out. He's very, very busy. But I am going to get him involved very, very soon as I possibly can. So keep a lookout for that. Not only that, going to get my brother involved, Tom. My brother, who is quite controversial, to be honest with you. Some people don't like him because he has got very different opinions to me when it comes to Manchester United. But he's just as passionate. So this channel is all about giving people a chance to just share in the opinion. Football is a game of opinions. A lot of you listen to this right now agree with some of the points that I made in this video. A lot of you right now are there pulling your hair out going, what is this tosspot talking about? He's totally wrong. And that is just football. That is football. You know, that is football's game of opinions. I'm going to get my brother on to give his opinion about Manchester United as well very, very soon. So keep a lookout for that. But for now, I just want to say big thanks to everybody who has stopped by today and got involved with the comments. Everyone who's super chatted means the world to me. Thanks so much for getting involved. If I've not mentioned you, I apologise. Come back next time. I'll hopefully mention you then. But for now, do us a favour. Chuck a like on this video. If you are new to this channel, make sure you do subscribe. And click the little bell end button to be notified as well when I do post a new video. Ron Say, take care, pig. Thank you so much. Take care to you too, Ron. Everybody who's watched, you're a bunch of legends. Have yourself a good one. Keep a lookout for upcoming videos on the channel. I'm going to try and do as many as I can, at least a few a week anyway. So keep a lookout for them. This is the Pig on Flying Pig United. Take it easy. Have yourselves a good one. And come on, United.